Virgin Galactic, what can I say? First time I've ever started a video with my heads in my hands or my hands on my head, whichever way you like it. Really and truthfully, this is terrible to see this now. Virgin Galactic now 132. We looked at the chart, we looked at the analysis, and we predicted it was going down to $1.10. Months ago, we were talking about a short squeeze and $100 stock. Since then, having dealt with Eric Kearney, we've learned what they want to do is drive the stock down. That benefits the directors, the insiders, because they get the stock for nothing, virtually free. They're paid in options, insane amount of options, stock options, and they're owning all the company for nothing. It's ridiculous. And then finally the news will come out and the greedy people will make all the money and the retail investors will get stuffed. That is if you sell your stock, unless you build your position on the way down. But it does look like it's going down to $1.10. Now, why am I showing you my portfolio? Why am I showing you the portfolio here? Over the last year, I'm up 13%. And we've had a big dip today, like a percent. So I was up 14.5% this year. That's this year so far. Not a 1 year, this year so far. Incredible, right? The S&P is up 30%. Eric Kearney will tell you that the markets are down and it's awful. It's okay that Virgin Galactic is like this. But let me tell you, it's not. And it's absolutely ridiculous. The marketing for this company has been absolutely abysmal, and the treatment of the investors has been one of the worst I've ever seen. I think it's disgusting now. We've got a chain of Virgin brands going bankrupt after bankrupt after bankrupt. They're lining up in a line. How many companies can we take bankrupt? No need for this at all. This never needed to happen. But let me tell you something about what happened today. Something I think is really, really important. I want to bring it in because it's the same industry today. There was another company today, LLAP is the stock. And what is the name of the, just bear with me a second. What's the name of, I've just forgotten the name of it. LLAP, Terran Orbital. Yeah. Another space company. And let me tell you what patterns we're seeing here. When you live on this every day and you spend your entire life watching this, you start to see some patterns appear and start to reappear and reappear over and over again. And I think this is why my channel is growing so quickly, because people are tired of it. They want a real place, an honest place where people feel that, like I feel, that I'm honored to have an audience, are honored to have, if you like, investors. That's how any publicly traded company should feel. And you feel an obligation and a responsibility to report to your viewers, report to your investors. Today, in the same field, LLAP, this company, Terran Orbital, in the space industry, like Virgin Galactic, publicly traded company, they have to abide by SEC regulations. And they had an earnings schedule for 10 a.m. this morning. It was scheduled for 10 a.m. this morning, so the investors gathered. I promoted the event. We were ready to go, ready to talk about the event. And what did they do? They cancelled their earnings call, and we've seen this happen for other companies repeatedly. They just cancel, don't bother turning up, whatever. Anyway, they not only cancelled it, but they posted their financials at 10 to 3 in the morning, 10 to 3 Eastern time in the morning when no one is looking. And to me, that is obvious to try to avoid as much backlash as possible, rather than facing your investors like Eric Kearney should be doing, who doesn't, right? They decided to post their financials at 10 to 3 in the morning last night. So today, we didn't know about this because it was happening, no one had caught that news. Half an hour before the earnings call for this space company, I was preparing for the event, And I had to dive deep to find all this information. And I was unable to bring the earnings call like I would like to normally present. And basically, the investors started to turn up, and I had to read from the transcripts, like an hour of reading their numbers as if I'm the CEO and the CFO on an earnings call, because they couldn't be bothered to turn up. Now, why am I telling you all this stuff? Why do you care? You're a Virgin Galactic investor. Well, the reason is because we are retail investors. We buy stocks and shares because we're trying to build for our future. We're not here to, at least I hope we're not. We're not here to manipulate the system. I'm not even in the stock. I only own the S&P for that evidence to do that. We're not here to, manipulate. We're just here to invest in great businesses that will grow in the future. A decent, honest, hard-working thing to do. However, let it be known that these companies don't look at us in the same way. They drop their earnings whenever it suits them, even though it's against SEC regulations. Maybe they pay a penalty. Maybe they just try to skate around it. Maybe they lie. Maybe they tell an untruth to get away with it. In the case of Eric Kearney, provides lip service, provides no knowledge to the investors whatsoever, completely and utterly useless. And I've called him out on it over and over again, to the point now I won't even take his calls. I don't want him on my show anymore because he's wasting my time. We need to understand that publicly traded companies, even though they're supposed to follow rules and they're supposed to follow the SEC regulations, remember how the SEC behaved recently. Gary Gensler over Bitcoin, they were giving out to us, information how to be secure and what not to buy, and we shouldn't buy Bitcoin, and yet their site and their X account was hacked in twice, false information, putting out false information. These people that we invest in, these companies have no standard, a moral code. They can just become a publicly traded company without any kind of, any kind of regulation whatsoever. Now, there are rules, but people break the rules, ignore the rules, and get around the rules. It's why, me and you pay taxes, but big companies don't pay any tax. People get around the rules and they manipulate stuff. And what we're seeing now, we're seeing Virgin Galactic being absolutely pummeled. It can go down to, it can go under $1 now. I mean, we said $1.10. Remember, we're expecting, or we thought we were going to get a flight in April. Now, the date was posted on the space flight calendar, not on Virgin Galactic, to be fair, but that's where things get logged before they announce it. We like to get it as quick as possible, but that information is not there anymore, and we've got nothing to say at the minute. So we could go dormant for a while before Delta, but at the end of the day, anything under $2 is below the cash balance, is below the value of the stock, the value of the cash. You're getting the business for free. So to get it at 133 is absolutely bonkers. So where is the institutions? Why is no one buying this? Well, the reason is retail investors are. Some of you are lowering your averages and trying to buy it. But the reality is, institutions aren't piling in. Now, some of you on YouTube, some people on YouTube will say, "Oh, yes, they are. Oh, yes, they are. They're buying it." No, they're not. If they was, it'd be going up. You can't have institutions en masse buy the stock and the stock keep going down. It doesn't work like that. All right. It would be going up or at least holding. And it's not. It's constantly going down. So the only thing I can draw from this is, they don't want to put any of those ticket holders or any of those celebrities on the flights when they could do so. We could get a flight in the air and get this stock up to $5 dead easy, but we're not. We're allowing it to go down and down and down. And remember, they're getting paid in stock options. They're getting paid in the value. So if you've got let's put it simple, like Eric Kearney. Let's say this week Eric Kearney's got $5,000 in wages. All right, I'm just picking a number out of the sky. He gets $5,000 worth of stock. He's getting a lot more stock than he was getting last month. It's in their interest to drive the stock down. I came into this thinking that everybody was going to be honorable and decent and value their investors. But let me tell you, it isn't. I've just reported on Terran Orbital and had to do their earnings call for them because they couldn't be bothered to even turn up. Now, we have had Scott Cohen on the show, very complimentary to me, the show, the audience, what we're doing. However, and I am in constant contact with Rap and Scott Cohen, they have cancelled 2 earnings back to back. Just not turning up. And when he comes on my show, I will address that. I will say, how do you explain to your investors, and they are fearful and worried and concerned, they're putting all their life savings into this, that you're not even showing up twice? You have to answer that. And right now, I'm addressing Virgin Galactic investors, and just to say, this is why the stock price is going down. It shouldn't be going down. There's no reason why it's going down, but it is, and we now know. At least we should know the reason why it's going down, and I feel it's absolutely unforgivable with this. Anyway, I've got some comments coming in on Virgin Galactic. Let me read this. Raman has just put out, there is also news about other stocks because Virgin Galactic won't change much, and certainly nothing before 26. No, you're absolutely right. I've said this time and time again, Raman, the stock is going to go to sleep for 6 months. That makes sense. But at $2, the stock was asleep because that was the value of the cash. It shouldn't be at 133. Because even if the stock is going to sleep, which it is, and you wouldn't want to park your money doing nothing, which would make sense, it's so cheap at 133, anyone with any nous would be buying this stock. But they're not. And they're not because nobody wants the stock to go up. No one wants to promote the stock because they're getting more of it. So I really feel for those that are constantly buying this, and it's constantly going lower and with no sign of ever coming back up again. I mean, if it goes much lower, we're going to be delisted. We're going to be over the counter. We're going to be a bucket and spade down the toilet flipping company. And the trouble is then you've got the last 3 or 4 Virgin businesses all going bust. Who would want to risk it? And, you know, the leader in space tourism should have more respect for itself. It should be better than this. It shouldn't be allowed to get this low, but it is. And I think it's an absolute travesty. Have I got any more comments here just coming in? Raman, they're going bust, will never fly, is my opinion. See, I don't believe that. I believe there's money in the bank with Virgin Galactic, but if your stock price goes too low, the benefit is to the directors and those that are getting more and more stock. They're just loving it. I mean, you know, they're loving it, right? They're getting paid in stock options. They're getting more and more stocks. All the retail investors are just getting pummeled. Many are giving up, selling out, which would be a shame. But the trouble is, if the stock price goes too low, then you can't raise funds. You can't dilute the stock. Now, they have said we don't feel we need to do that, but we'll always keep it on the table. Well, quite honestly, there's no way they can go to the shareholder. You can't dilute the stock at 132 when it's been like 35 or is it $50, $60. You can't do that. That would be ridiculous because you'd end up basically saying stuff it to the investors. Of course they can, and they probably will. But then your 133 will be worth 70 cents at best. You know, that's just 2 for 1. Chances are they'll go 10 for 1. And then you're getting like 13 cents a share. Of course, your value stays the same. You get my point. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know what to say to Virgin Galactic right now. It's still going down. As I'm watching, it's 132. It's continually falling. Have we got any more comments? Space is very boring without flights. It is, Zach. And here's one of our most bullish investors here, Zach say, you can't say you are happy with Eric Kearney. You cannot say you are happy with Virgin Galactic. There is no reason why whatsoever. Remember, this company's been around for many, many years now. Many, many years of delays. And that's all very well and good. But when you go this long, this is ridiculous. I never thought I'd see it. I said it was going to 110, but I really didn't want that to be the truth. Well, it looks like it is. Anyway, this was a video I just want to put out to Virgin Galactic investors on the day that I learned a bit more about this business. And for those of you just tuned in live, I'm talking about LLAP today, Terran Orbital, where I had to do the earnings call for them because they cancelled at 10 to 3 in the morning when no one noticed. So I picked up the transcript and reported it today to the viewers, to the investors that wanted the earnings because they're just not bothered to even turn up. It seems to be the way this industry of investing works. They do not seem to care about the retail investor. I think it's a great, great shame. Anyway, I wanted to bring this news to everybody with Virgin Galactic. Click above my head, down below in the description, over here and over here for more information. As it comes available, I'll bring it out, but don't be surprised if I come on tomorrow and say it's now $1.10. Where do we go from there? I'll tell you where we go from there. We get delisted. That's where we go when it falls another 10 cents. Until next time, as always, take care of your money, your shells, your crypto, and most importantly, take care of each other. A lot of people are really suffering right now. This is so unnecessary. Till next time, bye-bye for now.